What's going on? It's your boy Karl Wolf, and don't forget to be unique. Be ANOKHI.
ANOKHI Pulse TV chats with multi-talented singer-songwriter Karl Wolf at the VIP lounge of Pinkberry in Mississauga. Karl chats with me about his music career, his multicultural upbringing and musical influences, and how he hopes audiences connect with his music on an international scale. Born in Lebanon and raised in Dubai and Toronto, Karl is a child of music with an unmistakable flair and a way with words. With a career that has spanned over a decade, Karl has etched himself a place in Canadian music history with hit singles Africa, Yalla Habibi, and Go Your Own Way, and a collection of chart-topping albums such as Face Behind the Music, Bite the Bullet, Nightlife, and Finally Free. You've had a very multicultural upbringing. You've lived in different parts of the world, you've sung in many different languages, and you migrated to Dubai from Lebanon and then eventually over to Toronto. How has the world shaped your music?
Oh man, it's totally influenced my music. My dad's a musician, my mom's a piano teacher, so just growing up, with a multicultural family, and it wasn't like I grew up with Arabic music, but I think naturally it's innate in me. I got to make music that's true to me, at the end of the day, because as a musician, you experiment with so many different sounds. There's nothing wrong with going with your culture and your background, and it worked.
Talk to me about the reception from your family, from your friends. How have people responded to that sort of multi-ethnic sound?
I was always ashamed a little bit when I was a kid, to be honest, to be Arabic, just because I knew the racism that came with it on some level. So I always said, no, I'm Italian or something. I was a little boy. I was like 5-6 years old, and I was kind of ashamed. Imagine, I felt like I couldn't say where I'm really from because I felt people kind of judge me. And then in time, I just said, you know what, who cares? You start to develop this kind of strength, when you get older, and you're like, man, I am who I am. So if you're not going to like me for who I am, then I don't care.
Talk to me about that liberation from a personal point of view, because clearly it was a liberation from a professional point.
Yeah.
But, just coming out of your shell and really celebrating who you were. Talk to me about that from a personal perspective.
Yeah, it felt scary because, you're in North America here, there's that racism does exist, and it's like, oh man, but why not? And I had help, I've been with my team, my managers and all that for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. So they advised me as well. The president of EMI Music, Dean Cameron, he was really helpful in that too, man. I remember after Africa broke and it became #1 in like 25 parts of the world, I was like, dude, I've got this next single, man. It's called Yalla Habibi. And he heard it, he's like, I love it. And he's Canadian, pure Canadian. And I'm like, what do you think? Isn't it weird we're gonna go with an Arabic title, on radio? He's like, Karl, you are who you are, man.
Yalla Habibi, waking up, far away to a sunny place. Yalla Habibi, we can fly to a place and high so we can spend time. Yalla Habibi.
After all these years, if you look back at your career, what do you think the most defining moment was for you?
I think the MTV Europe Music Award, when I won that for Best Arabian Act, it was huge, man. I was there on the red carpet with everybody else. You had to see this. I was in Liverpool, where the Beatles are from, and paparazzi, like we had 200 paparazzi just calling my name out. Karl Wolf, here, picture. I'm like, wow, and there's Beyonce behind me, and there's Kanye in front of me, and he was doing sound check, and he's asking me, what do you think of my voice? And I'm like, wow, am I really here? That's
a surreal moment.
That was surreal moment, man, and I always knew that I had it in me to make it, whatever. Yeah. But at that moment, I was like, okay, I've etched my name somewhere in the music business, and this is so cool. So I had to pinch myself a couple times. But
well, you spoke about being an example for your community,
sure,
your cultural community, but for everybody else who wants to be a singer, who have dreams, who have a struggle being who they are.
Sure.
What do you want them to take away from your story?
You know what? The best advice I can give people who are trying to make it in anything, in any business, whether it's music, acting, or any career choice you choose, you got to be yourself. You got to be determined. You got to be driven. You got to be better than the next guy.
Waking up, far away to a sunny place. Yalla Habibi, we can fly to a place and high. So
Don't forget to stay in the loop for your weekly dose of glitz and glamour from the world of entertainment with ANOKHI Pulse TV. You can check us out at ANOKHImedia.com and our YouTube channel, and don't forget to interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.